Hey, what's happening, Discoveryers? Me, the Guy01, and welcome to this week's versus episode on the Walkthrough channel. This week, it's Shayna Baszler against Alexa Bliss. It is our weekly birthday versus. We had a few birthdays this week, two of them being Shayna Baszler and Alexa Bliss, and the third one being Hulk Hogan. Yeah, so you can kind of see why I picked this as the match, because that third one kind of wouldn't really fit in with either one, would it? But yes, it was Shayna Baszler's birthday on August 8th. She turned 43. Alexa Bliss's birthday, August 9th. She turned 32. And like I said, Hulk Hogan's birthday was yesterday, August 11th. He turned 70. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got SummerSlam, Raw, and SmackDown. So let's jump right in. Beginning with SummerSlam. Logan Paul beat Ricochet with the help of some brass knucks, which was, I don't know, kind of disappointing, but at least the match was actually pretty entertaining. Gotta give him credit for that. LA Knight won the Mountain Dew Battle Royal. You know, this is just WWE trying to give him wins after not letting him win for, what, a few months straight there? Speaking of Shayna Baszler beat Ronda Rousey in their MMA rules sanctioned match. The match was pretty, I don't know, it was weird because watching it wasn't that bad. It was actually a pretty fun match, and if you know MMA or if you're a fan of MMA, you can appreciate the effort they put into it to make it feel like a real fight. But there was just something about it that felt off. The crowd never really got into it, and there was just something about the way it was presented that just felt weird. I don't know if it was with the camera, or if it was just like the pacing of it, or I don't know what it was. But this has led to a bunch of people basically saying that the match was a flop, based just kind of like on the audience reaction, which I guess on that side of it I'd agree, because yeah, the crowd just really never got into the match. They were happy when the Ronda lost. That got a reaction, so it wasn't a total bust, I guess. But you know, you gotta respect both of them for kind of doing what they did and basically just going for real for the most part. Moving on, Cody Rhodes beat Brock Lesnar to conclude their trilogy. At the end of the match, Brock Lesnar shook Cody's hand before raising it into the air. Kind of a callback to Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar's moment from WrestleMania 19, where Kurt did the same thing for Brock, so that was a nice callback moment there. 20 years later, which is kind of funny to think about. Took 20 years for Brock to basically return the favor, more or less. Gunther beat Drew McIntyre to retain the Intercontinental Championship, meaning that Gunther is now, I think, like 30 days away from breaking Honky Tonk Man's record of the longest Intercontinental Championship reign of all time. And honestly, at this point, I just say let him break it. I mean, if you look back at like WWE history and see who like the longest reigning champions of all time, or if you see like Gunther at the top for the Intercontinental Championship, and then look at the reign that, you know, that was part of it, I mean, I don't think anyone would have any problem with him holding that record, especially considering the quality of the reign that record, you know, encompasses. Ow. Bianca Belair beat Asuka and Charlotte Flair in a triple threat match to become the new, what was it? What's she now? WWE Women's Champion? Because there's no Raw or SmackDown, it's just WWE and World. Yeah, so to become the new WWE Women's Champion, but it didn't last long. because Io Sky came down and cashed in and beat Bianca Belair to become the new WWE Women's Champion. And it's funny, someone pointed out that Bianca Belair is now holds the record for the longest reign for that title, as well as the shortest reign for that title. Yeah, like only a few minutes for the shortest reign. Uh-oh. Oh no. Get off me. Oop. Aha. Get in here, Bliss. Kick. Oh. That works. Seth Rollins beat Finn Balor to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. And in the main event, Roman Reigns faced Jey Uso for the Undisputed Universal Championship, and it looked like Jey was actually about to win a few times. There was one moment where it looked like he had the win. Oh. Oh, no, you don't. Aha, can't trick me. It looked like Jey was about to win, but then he got pulled out of the ring by a hooded figure who revealed himself to be Jimmy Uso, of all people. Yeah, let's just say the crowd reaction was big. I mean, yeah, that was a shock, but the reaction of like wrestling fans kind of afterwards was kind of like, what are you doing? So yeah, Jimmy pulls out Jey, Reigns goes on to win and retain the title. And the first, like, I guess, reaction to it was, this is clearly WWE basically not knowing how to end this story now. So basically they're just trying to do things to fill the gaps before WrestleMania 40. Basically, like, they've run out of ideas and are now just trying to find a way to fill time. It's like, we need more twists. We can't have Reigns lose yet, but we can't just have him beat everyone again. We gotta do something. Personally, it depends on where they take it. Because on the one hand, I really don't like that it was Jimmy who's like turns on Jey and helps Roman, because first of all, it was Jimmy was the reason that Jey first joined Roman in the Bloodline, which is how that all started. And it was Jimmy attacking Reigns that also convinced Jimmy to leave the Bloodline. No, it was Jimmy attacking Reigns that convinced Jey to leave the Bloodline, which then led to this match basically directly. So it's weird that now that the match is actually happening, Jimmy double crosses Jey. I don't know, it just feels kind of weird, like a weird shift of character. I mean, I said this last week, that this is one of the few times where someone may actually have a genuine chance of beating Reigns. And I think a lot of people actually would have been totally okay if Jey did it at SummerSlam. But if you were going to have Reigns win, either do it clean, which, you know, has been very rare with his reign so far, or if you are going to do interference, have Solo interfere, but do it in a way like either there's a few things you can do with Solo interfering. You can either have Solo interfere and help Reigns win, which creates frustration on Reigns' part, you know, with, you know, Reigns being like, Solo thinks I can't beat him on my own, that he had to interfere. You can do something like that and lead to dissension that way, with basically have Reigns get frustrated that Solo thought Reigns needed his help in order to beat Jey, sorry. You could do something like that, or you could have Solo interfere and almost cost Reigns the title. Reigns just barely, you know, escapes with this title, but then gets mad at Solo for almost costing him, and have the dissension there. I think that would have been much more interesting and also led to more story down the line than, you know, Jimmy turning on Jay. That's just me, though. Ow. Oh no. Ow. Get off me. Uh-oh. Powerbomb. But yeah, so that's my thoughts on the whole Jey Uso Roman Reigns match. Surprisingly, the biggest news to come out of that match, other than, you know, the whole Jimmy betraying Jay thing, was confirmation that Roman Reigns actually was injured at some point during the match. It's believed to have happened during a spot on the outside of the ring, which some people kind of called out as it happened, that it just looked awkward. It has since been confirmed that Roman was injured during the match, and, well, it's not confirmed that's when it happened. It does seem like the likely culprit of what caused it. So, as soon as you hear that someone's injured, and especially Roman Reigns, you're thinking, can you imagine if Roman Reigns' like record-breaking title reign ends because he got injured and he's forced to vacate the title? That would basically destroy everything WWE has done in the past 3 years with that title reign. And you really hope it doesn't happen. But can you just imagine what, like, the reaction of both the company would be, the wrestlers would be, the fans would be? I mean, you talk about things like just fizzling out or just ending on in the worst way possible. That's it. So hopefully it's not too serious of an injury. Hopefully he's able to recover and his title reign isn't brought to the worst ending ever. But we'll have to see. Anyway, moving on with Raw. Chad Gable beat Tommaso Ciampa, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Matt Riddle in order to get a shot at Gunther's IC title. I believe that match happens next week. And honestly, that's a match that would be a fun feud. Have Gunther and just Chad Gable like feud for a few weeks over the Intercontinental title. There's a rivalry for you. Well, I mean, the IC title's always been the workhorse title. Those are your two of your biggest workhorses in the company. That could be a real fun series of matches. That's going to be a match you want to, you know, go back to a few times. Wait, did I say Shinsuke Nakamura? Sorry, he beat Tommaso Ciampa, Ricochet, and Matt Riddle. Because Shinsuke Nakamura then wrestled Bronson Reed and ended up beating him later in the night. Shayna Baszler beats Zoe Stark. Going for 2. Ludwig Kaiser beat Otis after interference from Gunther. This then led to a stare down between Gunther and Chad Gable after the match. Kofi Kingston made his return to the WWE. Before teaming up with Xavier Woods in order to beat the Viking Raiders in a continuation of that rivalry from, what was that, last year? I honestly kind of forgot that Kofi was just out. I don't know, it's just like one of those things where there's so many people like on the rosters now. It could be kind of like one of those things that's like, is he injured or do they just not have anything for him to do right now? Uh-oh. Power bomb? Nope. Yeah. In the main event, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and I believe what was supposed to be Sami Zayn, but before he got attacked backstage and got replaced by Shinsuke Nakamura, beat Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and Damian Priest. Afterwards, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, and Nakamura all stood in the ring together before Shinsuke turned on Seth Rollins and hit him with the Kinshasa before walking out. So I guess we know who Seth's next rival is, or who his next feud's going to be with. And honestly, I'm totally fine with that. Nakamura versus Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Count me in. That should be fun. Moving on with SmackDown. What was supposed to be Asuka versus Charlotte Flair, the two losers from the Triple Threat at SummerSlam, never really started because all three members of Damage Control came down and laid out both Charlotte Flair and Asuka before standing tall. It's nice that they're not going straight into the, Bayley turns on Io Sky after she wins the title, which they very easily could have done. It's nice to see them get that moment of being a unified team at the top. Now, however long that lasts for, we'll see. AJ Styles beat Karrion Kross in what is hopefully their last match, or at least the blow-off to their feud. Yeah, AJ and Karrion Kross have been feuding for the past few months. Don't feel bad if you didn't know. It's basically been an oversight for the past, well, since they started feuding, really. LA Knight beat Top Dollar of Hit Row. Again, just WWE trying to give him more wins. At least that's what it comes across as. Calm down, Bliss. Get back in the ring. Oh, no, you don't. And good night. That was quick. Moving on with SmackDown, what was supposed to be Austin Theory versus Santos Escobar for the United States title. Santos Escobar was injured and could not compete in the match and was replaced by Rey Mysterio, who actually went on to beat Austin Theory and win the United States Championship. That came out of nowhere, but it's honestly kind of funny considering that, I think I said this last week when Santos Escobar beat Rey Mysterio to earn that title shot was because Rey Mysterio got legitimately injured. And I said, I wonder if Santos was actually going to win, I wonder if the original plan was for Santos to win or if it was for Rey to win, and how the company would react if, Santos wasn't actually supposed to win. Well, now we know. Now he's kayfabe injured, and Rey gets the title. Too bad it couldn't happen at SummerSlam, though. But now it's going to be interesting to see if they do what we're expecting them to do with Damage Control and have Santos turn on Rey and maybe have them feud over the title. I don't know, that'll be interesting to see. And in the final segment of the night, Jey Uso confronted Jimmy Uso over why he double-crossed him at SummerSlam. Jimmy basically explained the reason he did it was because he didn't want Jey to turn out like Roman, being corrupted by the power that being the tribal chief comes with. Jey did not take that lightly and super kicked Jimmy before walking out. So, like I said earlier, it'll be interesting to see where they go with this, if that was Jimmy's legitimate reasoning, or if he is actually siding with Reigns, because that was something a lot of people pointed out. He didn't necessarily side with Reigns, he just turned on Jey. So, we'll see where they go with this. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I make videos all the time. Stay tuned for next week's Versus episode, and next week where we continue our Batman Arkham Asylum walkthrough. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of SummerSlam, Raw, and SmackDown. Leave those comments below. Guy01 and the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler, signing out. Bye, guys.